Well, that's fine. We have exactly 0 viewers, so but we could
It's
have
fine.
fucked around for even longer.
It's fine. Dylan sent the hookers home from the HOA meeting happy.
That's all he can do.
Yeah, he's a people pleaser.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
We do have rules against, renting out rooms in your house.
Do you?
I mean,
the city would.
You can have somebody there, like you can't rent out like 4 different rooms to 4 different people as like separate leases. You can rent out the house and they can sublet technically, but you can't rent a flop house.
Not without a actual division among households. Like if it's a duplex or some shit.
Yeah, we don't have any duplexes, so it's all single family.
Yeah. Kesley is applying for an apartment. The backup plan is a rent the bedroom, communal living space kind of thing.
Just for the summer only, or for next year?
Yes.
Oh.
At this point, it's kind of like whatever she can get. She's supposed
She got
to
a full year, or she got like 1 semester next year?
No, she's got a full year, but
okay.
She's got internship this fall or this summer, plus her job. Those are both in Cleveland. So gotta get some shit figured out here quick. Get her moved. Which right
Their
now it's
school
looking
out
like it,
or almost out?
Next Friday.
Okay.
Next Friday, my youngest officially becomes a senior in college. Feels fucking wrong.
Yeah, they were just doing the calendar tonight. We got another month for everything, but yeah.
No. Yeah.
All right.
But, so, what do we want to talk about to start?
Yeah, I thought we'd do the thing. So, hey, everybody, welcome to Two Fools Rushing In. I'm Jeff.
I'm still an AI babysitter.
Indeed, you are.
I am vehemently against AI.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Nice.
Perfect.
Speaking of AI, did you see all the people that got fired from Disney in favor of AI doing their entire art department? One of the people that got fired is arguably hands down credited with designing the look of the MCU.
Wow.
Like
they're gonna regret that shit.
The consistency of like costuming and the world looks, and the difference between Asgard and the freaking Nowhere, all these places.
Yeah.
And he's like the lead designer on all that. And no, AI can do it now.
I mean, so I'm involved in a huge AI project at work. I've been working on this for 2 weeks. I have spent a lot of money, of business daddy's money on AI, getting stuff up and running. There is 0 chance I am putting AI in charge of anything. And I've actually been talking with our AI consultant about how I did things, because he's genuinely wanting to understand the process I used, because he's never seen it before. So I'd like to say that I have. He is a consultant with like significant AI credentials, like significant experience.
and you're
Go ahead.
doing it some new way.
I wouldn't say I'm doing it a new way. I'm doing it a way that makes sense to me. Like I started out using the AI that we use at work, and I would run into what's called like a context limit, and so the AI has to start compressing the conversation that you're having, and you start to lose some of the details of the conversation. So, in a way to kind of combat this, I set up a series of they're called markdown files. It's like pseudocode looking shit. And I've, like everything in this project has a markdown file that serves as like a memory piece for it. And then another one that serves as like a change log for that piece of it. And just all these files. Like I've got like I'm up to 26 markdown files right now that kind of govern the way I'm doing this. And then as I'm doing things and doing the initial work and setup with everything, as the AI is spitting out answers, right or wrong, I'm using those to feed back into those markdown files to reinforce or to change rules and logic. And he was like, yeah, I've never seen somebody be this recursive in the way that they're setting something up. It seemed
Is he saying you're doing too much, or
no, it's he's never seen somebody put so much care into making sure that what they're doing doesn't get lost.
since most people approach AI as, I don't have to do anything.
Correct.
That your billion-dollar company doesn't end up being one of the ones that shows up in the news every week getting wiped out.
Right. Like I'm putting in guardrails and like setting clear and definitive boundaries on things. Just like he's just like, wow, no one has ever done that that I've worked with. Like, take me through your thought process. Okay.
And how many of them are around anymore?
Hopefully more than, for the amount of money that we're paying him, more than aren't. More are around than those that aren't. Because, wow. We pay a lot of money.
Because I saw another one of those horror stories, it wiped everything out articles yesterday.
Yeah.
It was an open AI model, wiped everything out, and then said that and then proclaimed that it had gone against every directive.
Yep.
And then before we went live tonight, I saw that there is also a new open AI model where it's hard coded in to explicitly not talk about orcs, goblins, trolls, and something else unless it specifically relates to the conversation.
Okay.
I have so many questions now.
I mean,
okay,
so
if they had to code it in,
what is their business?
Why? What led to that? Because there had to be a precipitating event that led to that, and I'm kind of curious
probably.
what it was.
One of the big issues that people have right now is that your AI starts to display sycophantic behavior. So if you have someone who's like super nerdy that is working on a AI project that is kind of like open to the company, and you'll see where I'm going here in a second. So if you have this like super nerdy person who's working on this project and they're the ones who are doing a lot of the interactions with the AI model, and say they have like a pattern of speech or things that they use, metaphors and ways of explaining things that kind of deal in a fantasy setting, your sycophantic AI will pick up on that, because the person who's doing all, who's interacting with it, who's giving it positive reinforcement, displays those characteristics and talks about those things.
I could also see it being something with like whoever was making the programs may have used some of those terms for naming files and things that they don't
Oh,
want
absolutely, yeah.
going into, and that was just a
Yep.
weird thing that nobody would understand unless they knew.
Yeah.
Had prior knowledge.
It's also very much something that can and has happened for sure.
I don't know enough terms to know if there are any of those terms also overlap with certain coding terms, things like that. Like, I don't know.
Bots, trolling, like the standard internet slang for sure.
Right.
Um,
Well, I didn't know if orc was suddenly like an acronym for something else somewhere in certain programs. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, there's so many people out there doing some weird ass shit right now that
Clearly, enough stuff was a problem that they needed to put this in place. So,
and based on some of the lawsuits pending around the nation, chatbots are about to get a whole lot more unfriendly for a lot of people. Because when your chatbots are suggesting that your customers injure themselves,
Or
or
others.
maybe not. Yes, or maybe it doesn't outright say, "Yeah, you should do this," but maybe it reinforces or doesn't shut down self-harming rhetoric. That's coming back to bite some of these companies in the ass right now.
well, that's fun.
And it's hard as someone who is fucking adminning an AI right now. Like, I don't understand how you could let your product go to market with what feels like such a glaring hole.
Working with different programs right now, it's because they literally aren't thinking about what could possibly happen or how would somebody else use this. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, it's designed to do this. I don't know why anybody would use it for anything other than that. And they pat themselves on the back and they move on.
It's maddening.
Because they don't want to spend an extra week on, hey guys, let's think up some ways this can screw up.
Right.
I'm dealing with several things right now where it's like, well, yeah, it's doing what it's intended to do. It's like, well, it just screwed over a bunch of stuff here, here, and here. It's like, yeah, but that's the way it's coded.
How old is AI? I mean, literally, like in this kind of implementation. I mean, and how can there be experts in something that's so relatively new?
Well, so that's kind of the when you ask how old is AI, we have had LLMs, large language models, in some capacity going back to the 60s. Now, in the 60s, they were a large they qualified as what you would call a large language model, but it was a finite language model. It's not, Anthropic's stuff. It's not even ChatGPT's, stuff. It was much more finite. As we move into this new, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude, all the super creepy replica fake girlfriend things. As we enter that era of things, that is newer. That is, let's call it 2022, when that kind of became a thing. But I mean, like
publicly facing a thing,
yeah. But like IBM and several other companies, a lot of your companies that are deeply involved in like Linux stuff, they've had forms of AI for a while. I mean, Apple users have had AI in their pocket for almost a decade now. It's not agentic, it's not generative in the way that some of the new AI stuff is, but it's still AI. Siri is still a type of AI.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that we have, his first round of like AI stuff was in the mid 90s. He was working for IBM at the time.
That sounds like some decent qualifications.
Yeah, he's a super smart guy. I really enjoy working with him. I like, having the meetings and sessions where we kind of talk through like, what we're doing, how we're doing it, prompting for questions, prompting to, kind of get to that next level. And for me and the solutions that I'm working on, the next level is getting AI out of the solution. Just had AI help me build.
Okay.
So think about it this way. If I continue to use AI to do the project I'm working on right now, I have to pay for tokens for that project for as long as AI is involved.
Okay.
Or I can start to, as we're reaching the logical conclusion of the project, I can start to put some guardrails on like what is expected behavior, and I can start building what we call the portability paradox, and we start to think about, okay, well, now I need to boil this process down, and how can I solve this process with like an HTML file and some JavaScript? Like, what rules can, because you can do an awful lot with that. What rules can I put in place that I know are going to, like, this is the way things are going to work, to start building that portability without losing the functionality. The community's kind of split on that. Like, some people are like, no, you'll never be able to keep things going with this. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm going to try as often as I can, because I don't want to keep spending AI credits on this shit. That just kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
In the long term, absolutely.
Right. Like, at some point you want to not continue to spend money for something that you can do another way. So that's where we're at. The proof of concept, the early work, the groundswell to get a project, moving. Yeah, sure. You're going to use AI for that because a lot of bulk work. But when you get to the end of those data transformation projects and you're working, onesies, twosies, small queues and whatnot, that's stuff that you can handle without burning up a bunch of AI credits. Save the bottles of water, man. Anyway, sorry. That's my AI rant for the week.
Okay. You had something that you wanted to talk about that was not AI related.
I do. I bought a pair of shoes. Adidas released the Patrick Superstars. They are Patrick Star from SpongeBob themed Adidas Superstars. It has, so I got them today in the mail. They have all of the normal wrappings of what I would see my oldest come home with for like a big shoe collab drop kind of thing. Like, the box is special, the tissue paper is special. Like, all these little like super finite details about this are done at a level where you're like, yeah, this is supposed to be like a big deal thing. Now, I don't think that the shoes sold as well as what Adidas hoped, because I bought them on sale for $90 instead of $130. But they are super comfortable, big suede superstars in a 3-tone pink and black color. I just want to say though, like, we need more collaborations, like product collaborations like this. The sheer attention to detail that Adidas put into these shoes made me happy that I was able to watch a ton of SpongeBob with my kids as they grew up, because the clear ice bottoms with the sky from Bikini Bottom are super cool. The shoelaces are awesome. You get a copy of Patrick Starr's boat license, which is a funny gag from a early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s episode. Like, God, it was so much fun to unbox them, lace them up, put them on. I'm not the kind of sneakerhead that's going to go out there and spend, like thousands of dollars a year to get like, 50 different shoe collabs, but I'm kind of a Adidas superstar sneakerhead now, I guess. It's a good time. I enjoy it. I'm very happy with my purchase.
Definitely sounds that way. All right. Before we get into it, pop culture stuff. Who's got anything they watched?
Oh man. Okay.
I mean,
Hold
I
on.
did watch Cons in the Cornfield that you recommended, but
It was a fun time, right?
yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've had
like,
a good time with all the things that you've recommended, because they're all kind of in
sweet.
the same vein of like,
Yeah.
I don't mind watching cheesy horror films or horror films that like they're either terribly bad or they're, this is reasonable.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why, but going into the movie, I did not expect the villain to be what it ends up being. I want to spoil it for too many people, but I was very much expecting like a Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees kind of thing.
Yes, I appreciated that it explained how everything could happen the way it happened.
Yes. So as it kind of, as the reveal happens, I was some stuff ahead of them, kind of doling out the explanation. But man, that was just a good fun time.
Yeah. And I mean, everything felt very, like, the characters felt very normal and not like, oh, well, they would never do this. Oh, they would never do this.
Right.
Like, they made logical decisions given the situation.
Yeah.
It's a relatively, I mean, the author who wrote the book it's based on, relatively new.
Okay.
When you say relatively new, are we talking like pandemic and to now kind of time, or?
Let me double check on that one.
I mean, anytime Will Sasso's getting work, I'm also a fan.
I am as well.
So.
Okay, the first book in the series came out in August of 2020.
Okay, so very much a pandemic release. Wasn't written during the pandemic, but a pandemic release. Okay.
So are all the books related to the same thing then, or?
Yes. The supernatural elements that you were expecting in the first one don't come into play until some of the sequels.
Oh, okay.
So what happens in the first one? Just like first half of the
I'm
movie
assu-
type of thing, or
No, I bet the first book it could probably be that first movie.
No, and that's the reading a synopsis or comparison. The movie stays pretty true to the book.
Like that feels like it could have been the telling of a book. I'm gonna have to get the books then, because man, that was a good fun time. Did you watch anything else?
no, that was the only thing that I watched that wasn't like sitcoms.
Okay. Ray, did you watch anything fun?
No.
Okay. I watched a movie that I was really excited to watch. The Astronaut with Kate Mara and Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
I did not like that movie at all.
I picked up on that from the way you let in.
Is that the one with Ryan Gosling?
No.
What's the one where he's like is Buzz Aldrin or
Project Hail Mary's his new one that's out right
no,
now.
not that one. I know that. Okay, I don't know the astronaut then.
I mean, the Astronaut feels like such a boring title. There's probably 100 movies called The Astronaut. This is Kate Mara. She plays an astronaut that the movie opens. She is returning to Earth in a capsule. There's some distress. There's some concerns around the state of the capsule as she's returning. And that is where the movie picks up.
How old is this?
2025.
Oh, never mind.
Like this is fairly new. It is a Hulu movie. I wanted to like it. We'll say the first act, pretty solid. Had me kind of interested. Had me thinking this was going to be like like a weird conspiracy theory kind of thing. Like maybe the government is fucking with her in all of this kind of thing. And then the second act gets a little weird, and there's questionable decision making happening in the second act. And then by the time you get to the third act and the big reveal, I just thought it was the dumbest fucking shit I'd ever seen. I won't spoil it because if somebody wants to go watch it. But that was the dumbest fucking shit I've ever watched for a sci-fi movie.
You've watched some dumb shit.
I have. I watch bad shit on purpose. And I don't even want to say that I hated this movie because it has a stereotypical not Chad ending. Like they definitely spell everything out in the ending, but that's not why I hate the ending. I hate the ending because what they spell out is so goddamn stupid. And they leave such like monumental questions to be answered. These are not like this is not what did Steve do when he went back in time, and why isn't he going to tell Bucky about the girl or anything like that? Like, this isn't that kind of question. This is like, how does that functionally happen? This doesn't make scientific sense, even in a movie that is science fiction. Like, you did not even set up a framework for which someone could believe that this fairy tale bullshit could happen.
I was trying to tell somebody at work about the Darth Maul show. And he
Mhm.
goes, "How is he alive? He got cut in half." Blah, blah, blah. And I go, "Well, he got, And he goes, "That doesn't really make sense." I go, "Dude, he can move things with his mind, and he has a laser sword. What do you want out of your science fiction?"
Right. Like, if it were things like that where you're like, well, dude, you're
But this one's set
spending,
in supposedly set reality and
yeah,
science fiction on top of that. Yeah, but
yeah, like this isn't even
this
like
is not
far
Star
future
Wars.
sci. No, this is like maybe 2040s type of like future, maybe not even the 2040s, like maybe the 2030s. Like, this was not like super far in the future sci-fi shit.
Wasn't The Martian the movie The Martian set in like
Now, like tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
thought it was set like 2035 or something. Like
They might have
I mean,
said that.
it may have been year wise set that way, but the science, the science advances that he was trying to use, were like the next step of stuff that's already here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of believe Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying when we send the first people to Mars, they aren't coming back. They're going to Mars to stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When we send people to Mars, they are going to stay, and they know it's a one-way ticket. I mean, that's the only way that you're going to be able to do
that's
that.
going to take some really fucked up people to do that. I mean, they ain't going to be normal.
I feel like there's a line forming for people to go.
There is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's people who want to make history and want the adventure, but I'm saying that's the form of those people are messed up.
I mean, there's certain scientists that just want to quietly work on the thing they want to work on.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean that they're doing anything crazy or, they're not trying to repopulate Mars immediately by getting everybody knocked up. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
That was the mission.
I mean, I am not that. I would not be going purely because I have a wife and 3 children. But if
some people would go because of that, so
well, yes,
that's not not a disclaimer,
right? No, but what I'm saying, what I say is, like, if me right now did not have a wife and 3 children, I'd be lining up to go on a one-way trip to Mars. Like, it's not my job that's keeping me here. It's not anything else. Like, no offense to you guys. Like, you guys are great. You can root for me from Earth. It's my family that keeps me from signing up for something like that. That's it. Maybe that's some of my undiagnosed stuff speaking out, but yeah, I would go.
Okay. Was that it? Was that it on your pop culture front?
Did anybody take a moment to listen to that band that I linked that I said had to be my any fictional representation of Chad that had to be that favorite band?
Yeah, I think I commented.
I have
Because
not
like
yet.
when you sent it, I popped it on.
Okay. So they are a Mexican metal band. For the people who have not listened to it yet, and they're just such a fun time. They're a little Deftonesy. They're a little prisoner of the moment, a little Sleep Token ish. But man, they're just fun. I've listened to a lot of their music over the past couple of days.
You
I
just
enjoy them
described
a
a bunch
lot.
of things, and the only thing I know of is Mexican. So it's probably not my. I'm not up to speed. So music is
Okay,
hard
that's
for me.
fair. Sure. That's it. That's all my pop culture shit.
All right. I started to watch a movie and then realized that I really need to earmark a bunch of time for it because it's real fucking long.
Okay.
The that Crow movie that I've been talking about off and on for like a year.
Yeah.
Finally released on Friday, and it is free. It's on YouTube. It is also 160 minutes, non-inclusive of the commercial time.
I'm sorry, 160 minutes?
Yes, it is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
For a Crow fan movie.
Now,
Hey, they didn't have an editor, so
Sure.
I have watched about the first half, and then I started to doze off. Not because of the movie, but because it was real fucking late, and I made a terrible decision when I decided I was going to start it at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
What I have seen of it, I have really enjoyed. And that is not in a for what it is context.
it is not an origin story, correct?
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
it is, but it is.
Can't go through that again.
I mean, they're all technically origin stories because they're all different people.
Yeah, but they showing it isn't showing like how the Crow came about, right?
Like just in general, no. Like it's not like this is the whole history of the thing. No. But no, this one takes some time and sets up more of the backstory leading into everything that happened and kind of led to his return.
Okay.
And this is all stuff that's in the trailers. Like it's built on the premise of this Crow was a cop. He was a detective who agreed to testify against some dirty cops, and the dirty cops are the ones who are working with the supernatural bad guy.
There is a supernatural bad guy in
There's
this
always a supernatural bad guy. There are elements of supernatural in all of the bad guys by the time you get to the end of the movie. Mostly because they're trying to steal the Crow's power.
Sure, but does that make them supernatural?
That may be a debatable point.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm trying to think and go back. Like, I struggle to see the supernatural part of the first Crow.
Yeah,
Guy.
I always considered him kind of a Norse ghostwriter.
Is it the second one? I think, yeah, I see it in the second one for sure. I get that.
Let's see.
I feel like I missed a couple.
The third one featured Clancy Brown, I believe, was the bad guy. He was a corrupt judge.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And he may not have been overtly supernatural, but he was definitely into some weird shit.
Yeah, that's true. He was definitely into some weird shit. Okay, so some of them are supernatural. I'll give you that. Okay.
And then the fourth one, it featured a motorcycle gang that was portraying themselves as the Four Horsemen.
Was that the newest one?
No, the newest one was the one with Bill Skarsgård. I may have the wrong Skarsgård. One of the Skarsgårds, and it did not did not do well.
No, it did not.
It also had what, FKA Twigs.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it did not do good.
It shouldn't have.
But what I have seen of it so far, I've really enjoyed.
Okay.
Yes, they had no budget. Yes, the fight choreography is what the fight choreography is. But it's also very clear that these people were passionate about what they were doing.
Good.
And it absolutely comes through. And I'm just trying to earmark time so that I can go back and finish it. So I really enjoyed it. I've absolutely enjoyed what I've seen so far. But all right, we are 45 minutes in and we have not gotten to the thing yet, so we probably should.
You think?
I do, because I don't know how long this is going to take.
It's up to you. That's what you want to do. That's what we'll do.
It takes as long as it takes. So, all right. So, sometimes we play a game on Two Fools, and it's not much of a game. It's just me making them guess whether some random crazy shit that happened in the world happened by some guy out of Florida or lady, or happened somewhere else. And it is affectionately called Florida Man. Right.
Every time you say it, it just.
Well, because that I have to. I want to do it without having to say the question mark.
Uh-huh.
And yet I always end up saying the question mark. All right. Anyways, so for those of you who are hearing us do this dumb shit for the first time, let me give you a little idea of what we might go with. These are not ones y'all are going to need to be guessing on. These are just some random examples. Man throws live alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window. And then I may go more in depth into the article. And then the boys make a guess. Man steals chainsaw by stuffing it down his pants. I'm sorry, man tries to. Let's see. Then we've got.
He's not a man anymore.
Right. Let's see. Man drove a stolen truck to a Space Force base to warn them of aliens and dragons.
Okay.
Man breaks into house, cleans it, leaves origami.
I need to meet that guy.
The guy who attempted to evade the police by cartwheeling away. That one, I think, made national news.
Yeah, that one sounds familiar.
Yeah, all of the list I'm running through, these were all stories from 2024. Man jumped naked on neighbor's trampoline before breaking into the home.
As you do.
I had to see if there's anything we're stealing in there first.
He was trying to look through the second story windows.
I've just been given a note. I say a lot.
By who? One of your
I
children?
think
No, my wife was apparently passing through and thought I could use a note.
Did she physically write it down? Because that's
She
funnier.
she absolutely did.
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'll take I'll take a picture
Oh
of
man,
it. It's ridiculous. And,
that's actually great. I
and
love that.
I'm just gonna fucking keep
Hey,
doing it
she
too.
could have rung the doorbell and had you come see, what she wanted to tell you.
She used a cute post-it too.
Nice.
All right, so I have about a dozen articles picked out that may or may not involve gentlemen from Florida. Now, a lot of the ohs and ums in this are because I'm self-editing as I'm going through to not give away locations. All right. Can somebody arbitrarily keep track of how well y'all are doing?
Are
Absolutely.
we agreeing? Are we doing each has a different score, or how's that going?
Well, I think you say if it's Florida man or not, and if you get that correct, you get a point. But if
Right,
you
but are we doing a
if you
group vote?
offer a different state and get that correct, you get a bonus point.
I know
That's
in
how
the
we've
past,
done it in the past.
that is how we have done it in the past. If you would feel more comfortable doing it as a group, D, I am fine with that as well.
I'm good either way. I wasn't sure which way we were planning. We can go separate. It's
Okay.
just more to keep track of. So
All right. So here's our first one. And again, I will ask, as always, that you recuse yourself from voting on an article if you actually know it. So I did try to get some bizarre shit. I don't know if I pulled it off. So we'll start off with something simple. Gentleman posed as a flight attendant and ultimately was able to score. Booked more than 120 free flights by posing as posed as flight attendant from different airlines, and was able to use that to get a bunch of free flights around the.
So are we saying if we say Florida man, he lives in Florida?
Well, I mean, it would be
not necessarily working in Florida.
yes.
This seems like it has too much forethought. I'm going not.
Yeah, I'm saying this is a kind of an intelligent grift. I'm gonna say not Florida.
So now he wasn't flying as part of the crew. Then he was just doing like a
Ride back home
reciprocal
kind of
type
thing.
of like free.
He was
reshuffling.
all right. Flew on 34. He booked 120 total flights. Ultimately, only flew on 34 of them without paying for any of them by posing as a flight attendant who worked for other airlines.
Okay.
So he'd get on an American airline, but say he worked for United.
And use that to scam his way back or to a destination.
I'm assuming there's some kind of reciprocal, like, hey, they got to be here to work this flight.
Let's see. This was something that was done over a series of years, and over those years, claimed to work for 7 different airlines, used about 30 different badge numbers and dates of hire. Definitely a complicated grift.
I'd be more
Awfully
impressed if he
specific.
actually did the seatbelt display, but yeah, I don't think that's a Florida resident.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Florida just to go against everyone because somebody has to, I think. And
one of you is right.
It seems like a lot of work to not get a whole lot of benefit, which is very,
One of you is
very
right,
Florida.
because this is absolutely
Okay.
a Florida man.
All
Really?
right.
This
I'd
is
like
not,
to. Where was he born?
this is not your
You
mama's
know, because
Florida man.
this is not born in Florida. This is a transfer.
That could well be, but it is what it is. All right. Now,
I've set my dial to 1.
so this next one is a little more complicated, so I'll probably have to explain a significant amount of it. Two buddies drove a car, a Reliant Robin. It's a 3-wheeled British vehicle. They love it.
Hmm.
They're like super popular in England. But these two guys got the
Mr.
idea
Bean drove one.
to drive from, and I want to make sure I get the locations correctly, from London to Cape Town. For context, these cars are not recommended to go more than 20 miles, and they notoriously break down. So we've
We're
got
saying
two.
Cape Town, South Africa?
Yes,
Yes.
they drove from London to Cape Town, South Africa. Along the way, they were part of several military convoys. They arrived in Benin.
Rode on some ferries, or did they go around the Mediterranean?
I believe they may have ridden on some ferries, but they arrived in Benin during a coup. They skirted through northern Nigeria as we were launching airstrikes against Islamic State targets. They were given a military escort through a region of separatist violence in Cameroon. So they were in some weird shit throughout.
Weird shit. Yes. I'm
If it's a
going
vehicle
no.
that has to break down a lot, that means they gotta put some maintenance on it.
Yeah.
They gotta know shit
I-
about cars, but a lot of
I think
idiots
this
know
is-
shit about cars.
Yeah. I think this
I'm
is the
saying not
guys
Florida.
from Wheeler Dealers, not Florida.
This sounds Russian.
Oh, see, I thought it sounded British. I thought it sounded like the guys from Wheeler Dealers.
Yeah. I'm saying no. Is it everybody
Russians
no?
love to drive cars that shouldn't work.
All right, so everybody is at least partially right.
Okay.
Because no, this is absolutely not a Florida man. But it's kind of a trick because one guy's Canadian and the other guy's British.
Huh.
And it was the Canadian's idea.
Of course it was.
Of course, they think everybody's nice.
So
Let's
yeah,
just drive
it was
through
a 14,000 mile
war-torn
journey through 22 countries.
Interesting. That's actually pretty fucking cool.
All right. Moving on. We've got the Bear Suit luxury car scam that ended in an insurance fraud sentence for 3 different individuals. So all right. So here's what happened. 3 people were sentenced for a scam that involved someone dressing in a bear costume and then damaging luxury cars. So the 3 people used a person in a bear suit to stage fake attacks inside a Rolls Royce and 2 Mercedes, and then submitted fraudulent insurance claims for $142,000.
I feel like I heard this story, but I don't know where it's from. But I'm going to hold off just in case.
So it was 2 men, 1 woman. There's a 4th person who still has court coming up.
Okay. Yeah, just in case somewhere in the back of my head I know what it is, I'm not going to guess. But
I do not
feel
believe
like
this is.
I heard the roundup. On this.
Actually,
I'm
you
gonna
know
go
what?
Florida.
Yeah, this is Florida. Yeah.
Dylan, I'm okay with you voting on this
I'm
because
going to say
it sounds like
not
if you do
Florida.
know, you don't know much. Okay,
Right.
yeah. These folks were in California, L.A.
I was going to say California. Okay.
Weird.
Yeah.
Because I
And
feel like it's a foresty area and there's not a whole lot of bears in Florida, but I could be wrong.
So you said no, Dylan?
Yeah, I said no because
Okay, so
Literally, I
you've
was
gotten
thinking
every one
California.
right so far.
I've gotten one.
Yeah, me too.
all right,
I don't know if bears are a huge thing in Florida.
Here's one that might be a bit of a softball. Man was arrested after driving his car into the ocean, and when apprehended during the arrest, he can be heard telling deputies he just wanted to surf and it's not his fault. Quote, the truck don't surf.
I think that guy's from Natural Selection.
Well, we've narrowed it down to a coast. So it's not Ohio.
They surf in Cleveland.
People
He
that
said
think
ocean.
trucks do.
He specifically said ocean, though. So
Yeah, it's true.
It sounds like Portland. It's not Oregon. I'm gonna say Oregon.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Florida because
yeah.
we haven't had a Florida in a bit here.
Yeah, I'm saying Florida as well.
This is a Florida man.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The truck don't surf. That's the one that was kind of where I was like, yeah, this is a Florida creature.
Yeah. That's a native broken English speaker.
Yeah.
All right. Now we've got the story of a Volkswagen Beetle that was suspended above a highway.
Why?
It was done as part of a college, a
That rules Florida out.
university's college of engineering, or university's engineering students.
Suspended a Volkswagen Beetle above a highway.
Yes. It was essentially strapped to a cliff face.
Well, that is definitely not Florida.
Well, yeah. As soon as you say cliff face, I would guess California because it's going to be like Stanford.
I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna get too specific. I'm gonna say New England. Like, I want to say Boston, Massachusetts area because of MIT, but could be New Hampshire, Vermont, something like.
We're waiting on Ray.
I said no. I have no
You
idea
said
where.
not Florida?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a joke or not when you said it.
All right. You are all correct. Not Florida. This was done by the British Columbia engineering students. This is in Squamish, British Columbia. So geographically, you were the closest, Chad. I think British Columbia's on the east side, right?
I
No,
think it's on the west.
No.
Isn't Vancouver in British
the
Columbia?
West. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't live in Canada.
You're thinking,
Quebec.
yeah.
All right. Next up, we have a woman who stepped out of her friend's car outside of her home and then plunged up to her arms in into a hole in the ground.
Well, that doesn't sound like her fault.
Yeah, but did this happen in Florida? It's possible because Florida has lots of sinkholes.
So does anywhere they have fracking.
But yeah, and then like India is also known for sinkholes. Would you have thrown some weird subcontinent?
Here, let me give you some more context out of the article. Maybe that will assist you.
Okay.
The lady had one of her friends take pictures while they were waiting for rescue services to come get her out because she couldn't get out of the hole on her own.
Was she like filling the hole? Was she too fat or something? Why is she stuck?
She was just wedged in there in such a way that she could not get herself out.
I'm gonna say Florida.
Was it?
She
like was this like pavement? Was this like dirt? Does it give any material? Like it's not like quicksand, but
let's see. Looking at the pictures that go along with the article, because yeah, her friend took lots of pictures, so they made it into the article. It looks like yard.
Okay.
And Dylan left.
He fell in a hole.
He was so
Yeah, he
against
did.
this that he just fucking dropped.
Yep. Oh, fuck you guys. Oh, look, he decided to come back.
That was an extreme way to vote.
Normal. It was an hour's kick. I'm going to say yes, Florida. But yeah, this was me getting booted because we hit the hour and 20-minute mark every week.
Fair enough. All right. So you're saying Florida.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to say Florida, yeah.
And where did Ray say?
I said Florida.
Okay. This is Manitoba.
Jesus.
I mean, there's so
Manitoba
many options.
Yeah.
Where sinkholes are happening now. Like,
yeah, but Manitoba
thing
doesn't seem to be that kind of place.
I think
Dylan's
they have
finally
fracking.
missed one.
All right.
Like I think it's the tar sands and the fracking and the whatnot up there is causing those issues. But also the freeze thaw would probably be more extreme up there if it was something like that.
True.
All right. Still got a few more. So next up, we've got a man who was arrested after making bomb threats against himself. Man says he made a mistake when he called in threats against himself in an attempt to get revenge on someone. 20-year-old told police he received emails saying, there's a bomb on your grandpa's property. I'm going to break into your house and shoot you in the, I'm going to assume it said fucking head. And I'm going to kill you. Watch me. And then when he followed up with police to ask why they hadn't arrested the person accused of sending the threats, they arrested him for allegedly filing a false police report.
Was that a bomb threat?
There were some of the threats included bomb threats.
Okay.
That just sounds like a moron.
Yeah.
Which is very Florida.
Yeah, it is very Florida.
I'm going to go with Mississippi.
I'm going to go yes, Florida, because I think it's been a few.
I'm going to say no, Kentucky.
No, I'm not saying Mississippi. I'm going to say Texas, because
Okay.
guns. Because guns.
Guns and bombs. I get it. those are all logical choices. This was a Florida man. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. This next one's fun. And you guys may have heard about this one, but maybe not. A sanitation worker got an unexpected surprise when he opened a trash can and found a man hiding inside.
Yeah, I know this story.
I'm trying to think if I knew where it was from. I saw like the TikTok that showed like a.
There's dash cam footage of it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hiding
Thought it was like a
inside.
ring
Why?
cam or something.
So
To hide from the cops, I believe.
Yeah, the guy originally was being sought by the police, and they had lost sight of him when he fled on foot earlier in the day. And so they had set up a perimeter in the area to try and find him, and it just happened that this one cop was going behind a garbage truck, and the sanitation worker like opens the lid, sees the dude in the trash can, and just starts pointing at him. And ultimately, the guy was taken into custody without injury. But during pursuit, his shoes did come off. I don't know why that matters.
That's why he seeked somewhere to hide rather than keep running, because he had no shoes.
I'm gonna say not Florida. I don't know. I feel like if it's the same video that I saw, because I feel like I was thinking of something slightly different, where he was hiding in the trash can in like a backyard, like around the side of the house. But if it's the one I'm thinking of in the video, it did not look like Florida.
I'm saying yes, Florida.
Okay. This was in Ohio.
Yep.
Nice.
Huber Heights. Which is
Chad abstained from this one, right?
Just
Yep.
up around
I
Cleveland.
knew this one, yeah.
Yeah. All right. We only have a couple more, and they are. Whew, all right. Professional cornhole player and quadruple amputee arrested for murder.
Fucking shit.
I know this
I know
one.
this one too.
I don't know where you're from.
I'll
but
pass
I've
it
heard of
over.
it.
I know it. I forget where it is, but I don't believe it's Florida, so I'm going to pass.
Okay.
Everybody passes.
Everybody passes. This was not a Florida man. It's La Plata, Maryland, which is about 30 miles south of D.C.
Okay.
And he shot somebody, correct?
With his nubby.
Yeah.
Let's see. Said in a press release, passengers in the back seat saw him shoot somebody, and then also, he fled with the victim still in the car.
Sorry, I'm not laughing
Sorry,
at
and
him.
you mentioned that he was a
absolutely
cornhole
laughing
player,
at him.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So wild.
Yeah, that's just weird. All right. Here we have next up. Or wait, no. Next up is this one. Let me find it. All right. Guy goes into gas station, buys a mask that he then uses to go across the street to rob the bank.
Oh man. That takes a special brand right there.
He's on video.
Didn't
He's on video buying the mask, and then he's on video in the mask breaking into the bank. It was after hours.
didn't the
Ultimately,
one
got nothing.
character didn't the one character on Justified do this? I'm Raylan
Yes.
Givens. He bought the hat and then robbed the place.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, but he was the one with the gator necklace.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Kentucky, just for respect to that guy.
I'm gonna say not Florida. I'm going to say West Virginia.
This is for the win, Dylan. There ain't nothing you can do to lose it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Florida because I feel like gotta go against you two.
All right.
It's worked so far.
Just because he keeps playing this fucking strategy, it's a Florida man.
All
Wow.
right.
That's 8 points for Dylan, 3 for
Missed
Chad,
one, abstained one.
and 2 for me.
Wow.
All right, I have 2 more.
What?
He said it doesn't.
And then I didn't count. And then I didn't bother counting them, so I don't know if it's actually 12 or not. All right,
Yeah, if you
so
have 2 more, it would be a dozen.
we've got a woman who has been sentenced to life in prison because she made her ex-in-laws beef Wellington with death cap mushrooms.
Okay. I abstained from this one. I'll give a guess at the end for no points, but
I am pretty sure I know this one, so I'm going to abstain as well.
I'm going to say Florida because I have no idea.
wasn't it Australia?
It was Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
I got one last article for you guys. It's I'm curious to see where y'all think it goes. Naked man accused of robbing a meat market wearing only a mask and left behind a trail of clothing that the police used to apprehend him.
God damn.
Where's he
What
going
an
to store his
idiot.
crab legs?
Uh,
I feel like this is going to be
America?
a Texas. I feel like they don't have meat markets in Florida. They just have whatever's at the grocery store.
Whatever's dead on the road. Yeah.
Even
I
the
think it's
non-roadkill
Florida.
people.
You
Going
think
Texas.
it's Florida?
I do.
So Chad, yes. Dylan, no.
Correct.
And I say yes.
Oh, well, then I feel good.
This is a Florida man.
All right.
3.
But I tried to grab some ones that just very much felt like Florida men that were not.
Nice.
Really hunted for some of those. It's like, man, that
Yeah.
really feels like a Florida man. And it's like, nope, that's nowhere near Florida.
So
But-
I think there were maybe 5 that I had at least heard of this situation.
I also tried to not keep them super current so that if you had any familiarity with them, it maybe fell away.
Right. Well, yeah, a lot of this is like, oh, I saw on a TikTok compilation that this happened, but that's the extent of what I got.
But there we go.
Very, very interesting.
No, we're very, very sad that our race has come to this.
Meh.
And by race, I mean Homo sapiens.
Indeed.
Okay. So is that all the Florida Man things?
That is
That's
everything
the-
I have for Florida Man.
That's
Wow.
the 12-pack of Florida Mans.
Wow. 12-pack of Schlitz.
No, that's Keystone, man. That's Keith Stone.
Good old Gator
Wow.
Duck.
Smooth.
But since I have y'all here, did anybody look at the thing I dropped in the group chat last week? Because nobody said anything, so I didn't know if that meant y'all disagreed with it.
Are you talking about the rules or like the game thing?
The rule thing, yeah.
I looked at it. I meant to go back to it to see if I had anything else that I could think of, and then I got very distracted by other things. I'm not. I think it's a good starting place for everything.
Yeah.
That's a level of mechanics that I'm not good with sussing out.
Well, so the idea came from a bunch of different sources. The one, this is y'all at home's bit of game design for the week. In our continuing efforts on the April of Fools game that I refer to by acronym in the show notes, because I really don't want to put "Get Jesus to the Rapture," because I feel like that's going to come up in the wrong internet searches and not get us the right traffic.
It's all about the second coming.
After he has a nap and maybe something to eat.
Yeah, because he's not a young guy anymore. He's going to have to pop like a Blue Chew or a Rougiette or
Right.
one of the billion ones that are on the market.
Yes. But my idea was for a way to progress, because we've talked about having the game be done over separate phases or just whatever term we use that kind of delineates one part of the game from the next. And I immediately thought of the dungeon tiles. Not even because of the size or shape. It was just, ooh, that could be a random stack of locations that get doled out, and the game board gets built from there. And so there was that idea, and then the other idea was from games where it's like they do have things sort of set out. And I mean, even in Dixon Wizards, there's the boss that goes on top, and then other ones that the rest go underneath. So there's organization in that way, of kind of controlling how you progress through. And so the idea was, what if we made building the world a part of the turn that everyone has to contribute to? That way, everybody's always adding something to the board.
Okay.
But
Kind of a dominoes kind of. Kind of, you can't just put it anywhere, but there's like criteria to each tile that can only
maybe
fit somewhere.
I was thinking. I mean, it would probably have a look maybe a bit like dominoes, but I was thinking functionally more like Deadlands. As far as
My concern, and
locations
I
and
don't think
whatnot.
this, just whatever we do, I
Yeah.
don't want something where we're playing the same like game. Like we thought about, oh, there's something on the bot, like you flip it over and it's got something there, but like I feel like I don't want something where it's like, oh, this card got slightly marked. Now I know it's this one every time.
Right.
So I don't want like hidden locations so much as we play them at maybe the start of the turn or whatever it is, or the start of the phase. Everybody takes turn playing theirs. Is all fine. I just don't want it to be something that you flip up when you get to it, because I feel like normal wear and tear will make it so you can tell which is which.
Okay, I could see that. I and I was envisioning that there would be specific ones kind of within the stack that would sort of be like, hey, you hit this one, and whatever the symbol is lets you know that that's end of phase, and you're moving on to the next at that point. But that was the idea, and it was it was not. I am married to exactly zero aspects of this. It just seemed like a starting point, because
No, that's fine.
it gets us a clock and it gets us a clock and a
Mhm.
stack of cards, and we're familiar with cards.
So one thing, and this, I mean, it would still either way end up being end of the phase. You would know ahead of time on that turn that, like, this is the last one, or say, like, once the pile runs out, you may have one more turn, depending on how many of these we have to place. And you only put so many, like the number that'll get put in there, it'll depend on the number of players, obviously. But, if you're running 4 players and there's 12 locations, you get you 3 turns plus, maybe the extra one after, like once it's placed, you get one more turn after. So 2 turns ahead.
We could
But then it
go.
kind
We
of ends
could
up being
also
the
go
same
with.
thing
We could also go
every
with
time.
double the number of locations, and you're picking from 2. Picking from 2, playing one, discarding the other.
That's possible. What I was thinking was something related to, there's a certain challenge to each one of them. So you can give yourself the easier one if it's the direction you're traveling, but you'll get less benefit from overcoming it, type of thing.
Yeah.
To keep it from being like, I give myself the easiest one every time. But that kind of depends on how complicated we want to get with what's on those.
Well, giving yourself the easiest one may mean that you're also giving yourself the least reward.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just saying there. Yeah,
Like,
whatever the overcoming benefit is less because it's easier. So
We'll just have to do some playtest around that, because that would be a really easy thing to miss out on. We're going to need to have somebody each game, like, prioritizing, the safe, predictable path.
well, I mean, whatever benefits you get for getting through this location might be an extra resource or extra cards or extra whatever.
Yeah.
So eventually you're going to have to get a couple of them just because you'll need the resources to proceed on.
Sure.
But I mean, yeah, there's always going to be ways for people to try and scam whatever the mechanic is, regardless. But yeah, I definitely like the idea of playing different locations, either at the start of the round, everybody plays all of them, or once per round at the start, type of thing. Either way is fine, and then we can decide how important we want the benefits to be on that.
Yeah.
another option that throws all of that away, and this is again because we're just in the we throw ideas around until we find one we like. Each of the different groups has their stack of locations that they get, and you're playing from those.
Okay.
Like,
It could also be the people that you're adding to your party have their own
Ooh.
location. They come attached to a
Ooh.
location.
That could be
Or
as
maybe
well.
that's something that's random, like this guy comes with a location, this guy comes with a vehicle, this guy comes with armament, kind of thing. And it doesn't really fit with the game board, but that might be the person that comes to the location, you can place him anywhere on the board that corresponds with like a shopping mall, kind of thing. And this guy can be there, or hold up on a farm. So any farm location, this guy can be placed at for free. He can still be placed if there is no farm. Kind of one advantage in a certain situation.
Okay.
Yes, this very much seems like a playtest thing. I can think of like 4 ideas that could deal with that, and I won't know if any of them are good unless we're actually running around trying stuff. But yeah, definitely I think the locations should require some strategy.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what we need to start playtesting it, because we've got like concepts of stuff.
Well, you need a win condition and work backwards from there. What does the winner of the game look like? What does he have in play? What did he
I
have
like
to
the
gather?
idea of, let's say, 3 possible win conditions. I don't want to go too high, but I don't want to just do A or B. So I would start at 3 if I was, in charge of everything, and then
So one of those is
go from there.
You've conquered the world. That's at some point or in some manner you become master of what's left of the world, because we're talking post-apocalyptic, right? Post-war, post-famine, post-pandemic, whatever caused it. These people are, and maybe that's something to make every game change. We have a deck of cards, kind of like sentinels that have a location, but instead of a location, we have what brought the world to the end. So what are we fighting against? Kind of thing.
Interesting.
And that kind of changes each group's path to victory, and kind of it might decide whether or not they want to go burn it down or save it.
So would we pick the scenario after you've picked your faction, or before?
Yeah, I think factions would be first, and then random
Scenario, yeah.
The end game scenario. Okay. Yeah, the what brought us to this point.
And I mean, building off of your idea, Raymond, I don't know if you meant this or not, if this was a thing that you had envisioned as part of it, but these different scenarios could affect game state. If
expand on that, I'm not sure I know.
So we are playing in the scenario that was brought about by the Great Oil Crisis.
Okay.
So travel is just naturally more expensive in that scenario.
Yeah. Okay.
Or we're in the one
which would change how the Road Warriors maybe want to go about chasing their particular win condition.
Right. Or we're in one where it was just, the extreme climate change led to it. Mm-hmm. So now getting resources is now harder, or there's a slight reduction in the resources that you're able to acquire when you do acquire some of the resources.
I think this limitation could easily affect all factions.
Oh, absolutely.
Relatively equally, but maybe some factions can mitigate that problem easier than others.
Like I would think in the scenario where it's an oil crisis, well, the road warriors they're all about travel, so they probably got something worked out. They're probably the most equipped to survive in that scenario.
Yeah, they've already stockpiled their fuels, and that's been forefront of their end game already. So the people like the preppers who aren't, they're talking solitary location. Maybe they have trouble with fuel oil.
But they'd be better on a low resource map too,
True.
because they've already stockpiled resources.
Yeah, but if they have to move about or recoup or fend off somebody, maybe that's where the lack of oil or lack of fuel would hinder them.
Right. So I like that, and I could see a situation where, like, instead of having to have 3 or 4 or 5 win conditions, whatever that card flips up says, here's the available win conditions for this game.
Oh,
That way we could have multiple win conditions overall, but only 2 or 3 you'd ever have to worry about in any given game.
I like
So
that.
thematically, if the resources are bad, then you may
That
want
makes
to
replayability really high.
Right. Because, like, I can imagine in a low resource area, if the corporation owns all the resources or, a certain tipping point of resources, they've kind of conquered the map and they're in charge now. So,
Yeah.
if the, global warming happens or whatever, then the environmentalists can, eliminate certain things to be able to.
Yeah, they can just roll with the current climate rather than be, beat up by it like everyone else.
Right. But also they can destroy something that would allow them to I don't know what I'm trying to say here. They'd be able to do something where it's like, cool, this is going to reverse the climate problem, or it can't get any worse because we've destroyed the thing that was making it worse. Just depending on what.
Yeah,
how we decide to do it.
all these themes can be worked out. It's mostly the mechanic that we need to come up with.
Right.
We can write it however we need to write it to fit the factions, which are just placeholders that we have right now anyway. So.
And I don't want it to specifically reference any of the factions in the victory. I'm just saying, like, this is what could happen, but I don't want it to be like this faction can do X, Y, or Z in this scenario.
So we have a list of not to just usurp the discussion here and take over, but we have a list of the factions. Can we think of half a dozen ways the world died? I mean, obviously, World War III could be top of the list. That's easy.
Yeah, I think.
And pandemic.
Yeah. War, disease, capitalism, like nuclear blasts, even if that counts as war, if that counts as something else. Like the radiation everywhere would be an option.
Depends on how far we're going to go into the future. I mean, this could just be global warming, the seas rose.
Yeah. I mean, and I like that would be different every game when you flip up the card. And then it would have, pluses or minuses to whatever resource costs are going to be more or less in that scenario.
Yeah, like in the World War III, travel is more expensive because you got to combat with like fallout and stuff, and resources are hard to come by because everybody's already scavenged what's up there. You're living below ground kind of thing, or what? So makes all the scenarios should be hindering in some manner of speaking. But I don't know. I think that that allows us to narrate the flavor of the game right from the start. Kind of get everybody in the same mindset, and the idea that the situation determines the win conditions for this game means the next time we play, it's going to be different, because it's going to be different factions on the board and different situation that brought us all here.
Yeah, because I want the replayability, but I don't want it to be like
this again
at the cost of being too confusing.
Yeah.
This way is very much like you only have to worry about A, B, or a possible C, depending, for this match. And so you're not juggling 5 different win conditions. It's here's what's available.
And I think you've already offered up domination, correct, Chad?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've already kind of resigned that this can kind of be the 2.0 of that.
Sure.
So any, I don't know, thoughts, dreams, or visions of how you thought that was playing out can easily come into this, as far as what resources we're coming after, what they mean, what they give you, what they cost you, kind of to get us to the end of a win condition.
Yeah, I could see that. It's possible.
It's not a. I'm not really gonna be. I mean, I offered that up, but I don't know if I'll be a big help dreaming up rules and stuff until we know what win conditions look like. 'Cause I guess I gotta have the destination in mind before I can start plotting out the tools to get us there, and the path we all have to take. If that makes sense.
It does. And unrelated, I think there are actually people out there who will completely design a game from the ground up and then put a theme on it after the game is done. And I cannot fathom how someone could fucking do that.
I think we can do that here. I mean, we could build this game to be this, and then at the end decide, no, we're gonna make it fantasy based and just change it all.
But we need some kind of thematic elements to build the whole thing around.
Oh, just to start off, we need some kind of placeholder story.
We could reskin it. They're not skinning it at all to start. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I don't think of gameplay that way.
I respect those people, but I have no idea how that mind works.
Yeah, those people keep me up at night. So what wins? What gets you across the finish line?
Well, victory points is an easy one.
Yeah.
Victory points, and then if we have a clock, and then it's just a certain time you count them up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because eventually all the locations will be placed, and then you'll have an end of game. So if you don't meet the criteria for one of the wins,
so what are these? Yeah, so these situational victory conditions basically just determine what we're counting as victory points.
Well, it's almost like how to end the game before we go to counting victory points.
Yeah, because we talked about
Victory
doing
points is
the
there
chapter stuff.
for stalemates. So I would almost say to get anything to start, we would want to maybe design some of the faction and resource stuff and then add locations in after we run through some factions and resource stuff.
I agree. I think that
because we know we want to do location stuff, but we can't
right.
So,
spin 4 plates at one time.
So as far as resources go, just at its most basic, I see fuel, food, water, and maybe crafting materials as just like a catch-all for every like.
Let's call it like
we could
scrap.
also factor in shelter as one of the resources too.
Okay.
Well, I feel like you could build shelter with scrap and.
Yeah, but it also
whatever.
entails like a location. You know, you could get your materials to build a shelter, but you have to conquer a location to get it. I don't know.
I mean, we could also, if you're moving things that are not within the vehicle, I could see that as a concern. But if the vehicle is going to be involved in a majority of the movement, I feel like you kind of got shelter with you.
Yeah, I feel like shelter's just as you're moving along, because I don't know that we want to get into.
Well, then the X factor or the fourth thing would be people.
Yes, those will definitely have to be a part of resources. So
fuel, food, water, people.
I don't know if we need water and food to be separate.
So food/water is one thing.
Right.
Okay.
Food, water would be one thing. Fuel would be one thing. People would be one thing.
Weapons.
Weapons. We could combine weapons and all items together into one thing if we don't want to get too crazy.
I would see weapons and items as being a separate part of the game entirely, and not one of the like requisite resources that you need to make it through the game.
Maybe
yeah, you need weapons to make it through the game, but they're not like they are. It's more important that you have
weapons
food.
and items provide the resources.
Well, weapons could be a resource that you expend to settle conflicts.
Okay.
Right.
Like you have weapons.
I get what he's saying. Like you're still going to use them for everything, but like they're not the resource quote category.
Yeah, I just think that they might be
list for now, and we'll put them where they need to go later. So fuel, food, water, people, weapons, items, and then scrap. I've got scrap/crafting.
Yeah.
Skills. I think maybe attached to either locations or people. Could be certain skills like. I don't know, religion. I was just thinking religion could be a skill, like a preacher character who, raises morale of your flock.
Okay. So
yeah, I could see certain situations where it's like, your morale must, whatever we decided it's going to be, like your strength has to be this high, your morale has to be this high to meet certain requirements to succeed.
Ooh, I just thought of a mechanic weird. A conflict happens. Whoever ponies up the most, weapon strength wins the conflict. So the person that loses, their morale factors in how much they have to now lose. of their resources. Higher morale means they didn't give up as much or something. Kind of works as the counter to military strength. High morale can survive military losses better.
They bounce back.
Like, if that makes sense, if that's thought process calculates.
I can see where your thought is coming from. I'll put the note down.
I could almost see that turning into like a little rock, paper, scissors between like power and morale and say like
aggression versus
cunning
morale
or skill or whatever you want to call it as a third one. Because technically if they have more firepower but you have more, cunning, you're able to avoid the fight altogether.
I get you.
Like, just there should be some ways that, like, if you're not a fighter, that you shouldn't just be stuck fighting if you're crafty enough to get away from it.
Were we thinking the people were just going to be like little blocks, or are we going to have like cards for characters? Like, so I collect this character, he brings me this many stats.
I think you get like your starting card for your faction,
mm-hmm.
and then you get your little, Van Meeple that you're going to put on the board, and then everything else should be a card that you can put onto your starting board to track.
I think if you've got
resources I have in front of me.
If you've got,
I don't need the full Game of Life tiny little plastic pieces.
Yeah, and very much like that character deck in Too Deep, Ray, where it's like you can track all of your personal shit there to keep it straight, and that is not unique to that game. I've got a couple other ones that have some really interesting player, like this is your playboard when you're playing the game kind of thing. To show some of that off next time we get together, or I'll send some pictures.
So to start, do you want to pick like 4 of the 8 and design enough to playtest? We can get ideas for the other 4. Yeah, but like card-wise, design enough cards to do 4 factions, and we can write down all the stuff we want the other factions to be, but just to cut the amount of things that you designed first in half.
If we're going to start with factions, it seems like we should probably figure out what those factions specifically mechanically are going to do.
Right. No, I mean, that would be, we would have all that written down.
Yeah.
But like, we wouldn't have the pieces of paper that represent them until we've done some playtesting for the 4 that we pick. But like, we can have all the theme and the flavor and the like starting, power, toughness, whatever we end up using type of thing, designed for them, but not, if there's 10 cards that go with each faction, you want to design 40 to start, not 80, before we can start playtesting. I'm just trying to find the quickest way to...
So last week we had the 8 factions, and we decided kind of the dividing line of light side and dark side. So we need to pick like maybe 2 from each. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't matter exactly where we do with that. We could pick any 4. But if we wanted to, we could pick any 4 that make a cross. On the board, We had the picture.
I mean, I think it's easiest to come up with like military and the hippies, the preppers, and the evil science people. Is that what the
where was this?
Yeah.
Was this in Fools or was this somewhere else? Posted the wheel. Okay.
I don't know that it ever made it into the but the pictures are in our group chat.
Yeah. It's in
But
Fools.
yeah, that was my thought of just two pairs of directly across from each other.
Yeah. But if we do the cross, then none of them are directly aligned with anybody else as well, which is what I wanted to be able to do.
No.
Yeah.
So we could do
military
like
and
military
evil science are
environmentalists.
Military
based
and
off of
evil
Jeff's.
science are next to each other. They're aligned with each other.
Right. It
And
would
the
be
preppers and the hippies are.
military environmentalists, corporations, and the cannibal anti-Christ people would be the four in that one. Anarchist.
Yeah.
That works.
So that would be the four, and then the preppers, the science, the religion, and the
Road warriors.
road warriors. That's an R. I was like, why does that Z look weird? R. Okay. That would be the second, cross there.
Basically just the opposite, so the right or the left. I don't know. You pick which side they're on, but just for argument's sake.
I think, the military and the corp cross would be a good one to start designing from, because you have the strongest probably in weapons, the strongest in maybe
resource acquisition,
but being able to acquire resources, and then the one that's
because the hippies are the environmentalists, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be good at scavenging and stuff like that and reusing things. So they wouldn't have to spend as much to buy. And then the anarchists are the wild card.
I would imagine they have the easiest time acquiring food.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be funny or facetious when I say that. Like, that legitimately seems like that should be a thing for them.
Easy to come by food, but they also have to have a strong military or a strong weapons side to basically get that food.
Some kind of a combat presence,
or a high morality to lure it in before they lull it into a false sense of terminus.
Yes. All right, we have run incredibly long, but I think that's a solid finish to April of Fools. Did you have a good nap, Chad?
Kind of.
Okay.
Do you have a nightmare about road warriors and hippies?
No.
Oh, that's
okay. All right, so it won't be April of Fools, but we'll be back next week.
The May of Despair.
I don't know about that, but you can find us on all the things. If you aren't looking at our website, come look at the website, foolish.media. We do all kinds of shit over there, and it's absolutely worth your time because we try to make it that way. We've got dumb stories about chickens. We've got lots of dumb stories about chickens if you go looking around there, and there's probably going to be some more in the future. Also true story, because we've got that coming. Yeah. So thanks everybody. We will come back and next week. Bye.